Muhlenberg Township Board of Commissioners meeting for Monday, August 17, 2026. To order, all please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good Marcy, just for the minutes, we've had an executive session before the next meeting to talk about some personnel matters. There's no public presentation tonight. We'll open it up to the first public portion and time for residents or taxpayers of the township. Common matters of concern, official action and deliberation, which may be before the board of commissioners. We do have some folks signed in today. First, Sam Mattis. Sam. If you just state your address, Sam, for the minutes, please.
Okay, yeah, Sam, I live at 1010 Britton Avenue in Temple. Evening, I'm Sam, I'm a resident of Muhlenberg, and I love this town, and I'm concerned about our township's police offering logistical support to ICE. Offering logistical support to ICE is not a neutral decision. We've all seen what ICE has done over the last year and a half. The human rights abuses are well documented. They imprison people in overcrowded, filthy cells. They deny them medical care, and dozens of people have died in those conditions this year. They arrest and abuse our neighbors, including U.S. citizens, simply because they look Latino, and they've murdered U.S. citizens as well. Offering logistical support to ICE is offering support to an organization that spreads fear in our community and imprisons and kills our neighbors. The vast majority of people involved in ICE arrests are people with no criminal records. If our local government supports the operations of ICE, not only are we potentially harming our own constituents, there's a very real chance we end up in the news after something horrible happens. There's no reason our township needs to be part of this national moral shame. This is also not what I want my tax dollars going to. I'd like to know who'd be paying for this logistical support, how much it might cost. Are there any memorandum of understanding between ICE and the township, and who's making these decisions? Immigration enforcement and logistics is not a job for our local government. It's the task of the federal government, and I want my taxes going to things that make our community better. Parks, schools, public services, not towards terrorizing our neighbors. I'd urge the board to discuss these matters publicly and let the people of the township decide. We live in a beautiful, diverse community. I don't want to have to fear that me or my neighbors might end up in the hands of an abusive, murderous organization because of the cooperation of our police department. I know my neighbors and I don't want to see any cooperation between Muhlenberg and ICE, and I'm sure this board has better ways to spend our township's money. For the sake of our safety and of our community, I urge the township and the police force to not offer any logistical support to ICE and to make these decisions publicly. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Chief, would you like to comment?
We don't have a standing MOU with ICE or even for that matter, any federal agency. If we are called to assist with a criminal arrest warrant of any law enforcement agency, we will assist them. But we don't have a special relationship with ICE, nor have we in the last 37 years of that yet.
Yeah.
I can add to that. We generally, if those activities are occurring in the township, we don't know that they're happening until after they've happened. Correct.
Yeah, I'm not aware of anything that's ever come across this body saying that we've ever supported or not supported anything that had to do with supporting any federal agency unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, it's not mandated by state law for the local police to help enforce immigration issues. If they can enter into voluntary agreements, but to my knowledge, the township hasn't done that.
We have that. Or is there any plan to?
No. Okay. Moving on, Betsy Majewski, Ramick Road.
Yes, so again, I'm Betsy Majewski, 1728 Ramick Road. And I'm here both as a concerned resident of Muhlenberg Township and a member of Berks Against Data Centers. While I wish we would ban all hyperscale AI data centers, as they are, among other things, environmental disasters built and run at the expense of communities, I also understand the reality of what is going on. That being said, the banning of hyperscale AI data centers is not my main purpose this evening, but protecting the township in the best way we can is. To that end, I have 4 requests. First, I attended the July Planning Commission's meeting where there was discussion about the creation of a township's data center ordinance. And kudos to all who were a part of taking this proactive stance on the issue. Having a hyperscale AI data center ordinance in place before we receive any applications for conditional land use is essential for being able to enforce the guardrails that we want to protect our township land and our residents who might end up living near one. As we all know, completing and putting an ordinance in place is a process that takes time. And make no mistake about it, the tech companies wanting to build these facilities know when a municipality does and does not have an ordinance. And if they are really looking to build here, there's nothing preventing them from filing an application before an ordinance is passed. So to that end, I strongly recommend that Muhlenberg Township place a moratorium on accepting applications for hyper AI data centers to give enough time to complete the ordinance process. If we don't have an ordinance in place, we most likely will not be able to apply it to any new buildings. Now, the city of Reading has recently placed a 180-day moratorium, and I suggest we do at least the same or longer if we feel the need to have more time. At the state level, there is a push for a 3-year moratorium, and we may want to consider something that long as well. Second, I suggest we review our wording of our zoning descriptions. Tech companies who want to build hyperscale AI data centers have access to this public information. We want to make sure that the descriptions are written in such a way that they cannot be understood, misunderstood, interpreted, misinterpreted, whatever, to allow these data centers to be built in places where we don't want them. Now, I've read all the descriptions and they look good to me, but I'm not an expert. So I think it might be in our best interest to have an expert review or re-review them to make sure we have all our I's dotted and our T's crossed in order to protect the township. Third, I would like the building of hyperscale AI data centers in Muhlenberg Township to be a ballot issue, a yes or no question. Or maybe some kind of a public poll that could be taken so that we all know what the wants and needs of the township residents are. And last, as we move forward into this new world of hyperscale AI data centers, I ask that we navigate that with the mindset of people and the environment over profit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Majewski. Your
Yep,
comment first.
couple of comments, and we did discuss at the planning commission, the ordinance, the draft ordinance the township has in place is currently in front of the Berks County Planning Commission for review. It was designed by industry professionals, the language that is included there. And, Kelsey can actually talk to the referendums and the, moratoriums, which at this point currently aren't legally enforceable.
Yeah, I mean, the township really doesn't have any legal authority under state law to issue a moratorium against these things. If a developer comes in and submits a plan, the township has to review it like any other plan. Regardless of whether there's an ordinance that is going to be enacted for data centers or not, if a plan comes in, the township has the obligation to review the plan and take through the development process.
We do expect a review by the September Board of Commissioners meeting. Actually, we expect a review to be completed by the County Planning Commission well before that, actually within the next 15 days, probably. We can take action at the September Board of Commissioners meeting.
Your comments, sir, Mr. Majewski, or questions? Good. Thank you. Next individual signed is Jeannie. Let's see, log in. Janie Johnson from the Center of Excellence in Local Government.
I'm here to say thank you to Muhlenberg Township. For those of you behind the table and behind my back who may not know me, my name is Jean Johnston. I'm currently the director for the Center of Excellence in Local Government at Albright College, which is a branch of Albright College that administers several programs for intermunicipal cooperation. Before that, I was manager of Muhlenberg Township for almost 3 decades. And I want to say thank you to Muhlenberg Township for supporting CELG both currently and in my former life. I went to many workshops and activities that were put on by CELG and its various committees, and Muhlenberg has been strongly represented. And I think that CELG serves a unique purpose. And in fact, we're trying to figure out under my leadership, I've only been there 6 months. And what we're gonna do going forward for the various workshops and classes that CELG sponsors. And I know some of you know me in my former life, Kelsey, we worked together. Jim Bovek is a fantastic township manager. You have one of the best here, and I'm not exaggerating with that. And I know many of you through interactions at meetings. Mr. Malinowski, I can't even count the number of times we've met. Mr. Lurch, Mr. Cerulli, we've met. And I think Mr. LaCosta. I just want to say thank you to all of you for supporting CELG. And as we get our upcoming program established, of course, you'll be getting emails, not as many as from Andrea Weiss. All of you who knew Andrea, she was the email demon. Hopefully I'll be able to dial that back a little bit and be more targeted. But I really appreciate all of Muhlenberg's participation, and it's kind of interesting. You could probably throw a rock from my office at 13th and Rockland to Muhlenberg Township. It's an interesting place to be partly in the city of Reading, but almost the feel of being in Muhlenberg Township. It's very interesting. I'm learning about the local geography and the local issues. So, and feel free to send me emails if you think of something you want the center to do, or you think the center could be involved with. You know, Jim, feel free, Mr. Malinowski, any of the commissioners, and of course Kelsey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharon. Would anyone else wish to speak under the first public portion? Thank you to those for their comments. Moving on to the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Moving on to the unfinished business, item 7. With the board, we could have a discussion or an update, and probably best to start with our solicitor, Ms. Frankowski, on the Bernal Avenue public hearing we had last month. Just provide an update. I know the board is pretty aware, but if you could do that, we can have some discussion for that.
Sure. So this was an application by Rolando Vasquez, I believe was his name, to vacate an unopened street called Myrtle Avenue. It was a street that was originally laid out in development plans, but never actually got opened. And it's been there for, I think, 30 years. 100 years, a long time. And so after that period of time, if the street hasn't actually officially been opened as a public street, any resident who owns property abutting it can petition the township or municipality to vacate the street. Once the street's vacated, then the abutting property owners each own 1/2 of that street up to the center line. And the issue with this case is that there are several abutting property owners, not just Mr. Vasquez. And there was some, public comment made by those other abutting owners to the extent that they weren't really on board with this vacation because there was no access easement in place. The legal description kind of showed that Mr. Vasquez would own the entire alley or drive instead of having it chopped up the way that it should be. It's up to the board. If the board does vacate or is authorize an ordinance to be drafted, advertised and enacted to vacate it, that's fine, but you're not gonna be able to deed that drive to Mr. Vasquez like he's asking for. That'll have to be sorted out between the neighbors. Whether it's before you enact an ordinance or after.
Thank you, Kelsey, and I think under the advice and counsel of Mr. Ankowski, I think we should ensure that the neighbors and neighboring properties are taking care of this for Mr. Vasquez and being approached by him and his counsel, than us officially vacating it or moving on it tonight. So I think that would be our recommendation, to let this, not adopt this ordinance unless someone would want to and make an official motion. If not, we'll just move on until further information is presented to us to vacate the street when the other residents have been notified of what action they can take.
Yeah, they can surely come back and ask the board again, at a later date with more documentation and things in place.
Pretty good, Commissioner?
That's gonna be concurred.
All right. Moving on into new business. I need a motion to approve the payment of bills presented by the Director of Finance and Customer Service.
So move. Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Motion to appoint Don Westbrook of Westbrook Enterprise as a sewage enforcement officer for the township.
Motion. Second.
Questions or comments?
Jeff Wormkessler is retired, Westbrook is taking over for you. He's actually already started.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to approve payment application number 4 to Empire Services for the work completed on the Law Run Creek Riparian Forest Buffer and Stream Bank Restoration Project in the amount of $14,933.63.
Move.
Second.
Questions or comments?
This is the next to final payment application for this project. There is some replanting that needs to occur this fall. And we have a maintenance bond, on the property, on the project rather, that will expire next year.
And thanks, Jim. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Motion to award the Pioneer Grove Kayak Launch Project to Garland Construction Service in the amount of $127,180.68.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments?
This is being funded by a Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission grant.
This was the meeting we had. We met down there with the.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're down below. Yeah.
Jim, is this gonna be more similar to Lower Felix or Jim Dietrich as far as the? Okay, so
we
like
had a
gradual.
straight shot, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Motion to approve $1,000 sponsor to Crime Alert Burks.
Move.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I'll comment. I mean, Crime Alert First does an awful lot of good work in the county and getting out information on wanted criminals, but also just the support that they give to all the law enforcement agencies throughout the county. Gives them an opportunity to get together and talk. So it's a fine organization and I'm happy to support it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to approve a transfer from the EMS fund to the Ambulance Association in the amount of $46,730. Purchase a 2026 Ford Interceptor squad car to replace an existing unit.
So I'll say.
Our only questions on this is this, we've started to prepare for this, Joey, right, over the last couple of years to take, I think we're over $600,000 in our tax millage for the ambulance, so this will go to good use, so. I think that, hopefully, we can continue to fund things of the capital structure for you guys. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion authorized the chief of police to extend a conditional offer of employment to a candidate on the police civil service list.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Motion authorized the township manager to work with the Muhlenberg Ambulance Association to apply for an LSA Category 4 grant in the amount of $80,000 to perform renovations at the Ambulance Association property.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Any other new business?
I have two items, I'll be brief. This is for informational purposes for the board, as I, try to cut back on some of the volunteering that I do throughout the community. I was asked to sit on another committee. The Berks County Planning Commission is putting a steering committee together, for the, Berks Active Transportation Plan. It's part of the overall multimodal transportation plan that the county is looking at. The particular committee I was asked to sit on has to do with pedestrian and bicyclist access and throughways throughout the county and how to incorporate that into the county plan. I have been told that meetings will be infrequent and brief, but I highly doubt that. But I think it's good to have elected officials sit on that and take some information back to the county because, we're faced with making decisions, as we're redoing roads and things, there's a big push to add bicycle lanes where possible, and pedestrian lanes where possible, but, we have to counter that with available space and available funding. So I'm happy to sit on the steering committee. I will bring some updates back. But, it also gives the public an opportunity, if you have ideas or thoughts, you can certainly, contact me and, I will relay that up to the steering committee when we do meet. The other item is also for informational purposes. I attended, a meeting today, from the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance. They meet, semi-monthly, with, Main Street alliances. We don't have a Main Street alliance here in Muhlenberg. But they had a presentation by the Schuylkill River Trail, organization, Schuylkill River Greenways organization. And we are working with them as they look to connect the Schuylkill River Trail from Philly up to Pottsville, if I'm not mistaken. So parts of the trail will run through Muhlenberg, and they were very high on Jim and Jeremy. Took them through areas within the basin where we're putting some trails in. They were very thankful for the work that we're doing, putting our own trail system in and giving access to hikers and bikers. The purpose of the meeting had to do with what they call the recreation economy. And what they're doing is and this is just a prototype, but they're looking to put maps together for people who are going to be using the trail. And they're partnering with businesses in different municipalities so that as bicyclists start to work their way up and down from Philadelphia, to look for places to stay or places to eat, places they can have their bikes worked on. A lot of this is from organic growth and kind of build a trail, and then it kind of branches out from there. Now, the trail in Muhlenberg is on our western boundary, and most of our businesses are kind of inaccessible to bicyclists, at least easily accessible. But I think there's some opportunity here, to develop businesses that may want to support these bicyclists and hikers as they come through. So more to come on that. Jim has much more interaction than I do. But I wanted to hear what they had to say. I think they're doing some good things. And certainly if it brings, more people, visitors into the township and help support and grow businesses, then it is certainly worth our while to partner with this group as we can and help develop more trails. So, there'll be more to come on that in the future also.
Thank you, Commissioner Lurch. Any other new business in board members? We have no more appointments tonight. Second public portion, would anyone like to speak on a second public portion?
Question, do you have a date yet for the budget meeting?
We do not. Not a date yet, right? No,
Normally, it's right.
It's no longer camp.
yeah, Saturday, October, but I'll tell you that. No, we really didn't talk about it. We'll definitely confirm it in September, probably later in October. Usually,
Well, usually it's the 24th, but I'll be away.
okay.
So, I think that the last Saturday, then it's Halloween, trying to post that.
Yeah.
I'd rather not do it earlier. Just because
Yeah,
it's
so we get all the
not-
numbers
Yeah.
and so, that's a good question, Lynn, what are we all looking like from a board perspective? I mean, I don't mind Halloween either.
I'm fine.
But
I mean, you can have it the 24th, just Jim will have to present and I'll do it.
Yeah, the one is 24. Right?
Very person. You're away next week.
I'm away as well.
Okay.
Do the 31st game,
The 31st, okay.
and then you'll communicate as always on parks and capital.
I already did all that, yeah.
Okay. 31st, there you go, so we can advertise that, Marcy, for the minutes that the budget workshop will begin 8 AM on Saturday, October 31st, that residents are welcome to attend. We actually encourage you to attend because it's probably one of the most important meetings we do. It is tax dollars that are spent and where they go and where it's allocated. And it just get harder and harder every year. So thank you for mentioning that. So you forced us to put it on the calendar. Any other questions or comments? From the audience? All right, we'll move on to staff comments. Mr. Belleville?
Please be patient, codes will get to you, it's our busy time, busy season, busy year round, but, takes a little bit of time, but our officers will get to your complaints. And take a look at them, just to be a little patient, give us the time to do their job, thank you.
Yes.
nothing is wrong.
Just a reminder that the trash invoices, are due at the end of this month on the 31st, and they can be paid online, with credit card or debit card, and there's no charges passed on to you. And of course, you can pay by mail or come in and see us.
Thank you, Don. Joe, do you have anything back yet from the ambulance while they're here?
Good.
Good. Chief?
Even though it occurred in August, and it's not really included in my monthly report, I wanted to mention my personal thanks to Sergeant Sawyer and all the SROs for, once again, putting on a incredible national night out. I also think, not just the support of the commissioners, but also our fellow partners with Fire and EMS. I've received a lot of good comments, and to my knowledge, it's the highest attendance event that we've had for National Night Out. So, and thank you to Fireworks. Riverfest starts Friday, so come on out and join us there. And since we're not gonna have a public meeting before then, next Monday, school starts. So please keep in mind the school buses, the kids walking up and down the sidewalks, crossing the roadways. But it.
Thanks, Chief. Do something else?
Two things, just to touch on our July activity report, 197 calls for service, been our busiest month year to date. Total for the year, including the month of July, we're at 1,105 incidents. This past July, 112 occurred in Muhlenberg Township. Last week, we also took delivery of our new engine. I know a couple of commissioners stopped to see that. Over the next month or two, we'll work to get tools mounted and get it in service and training. So by October 31st, we will have that in service.
We're gonna have a parade.
Yeah.
Bit of a double holiday.
Yeah, we'll wait for that.
James?
Planning Commission meeting on Wednesday, at 7 PM here. We do have, two plans to consider, two land development plans to consider. You want to elaborate on Riverfest? Or should I?
Go ahead.
So as Chief Hoover stated, Riverfest starts on Friday. Friday, for the first time in 10 years, we will have the entire trail open. And we will have, two bands and a fireworks display at the end, courtesy of America 250 PA, the Reading Symphony Orchestra, whose event got canceled on July 4th of this year. So come out and stop out and see it.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Commissioner Marcelo, you were first on this.
Just like to offer a comment to Jody Heckman. I had an opportunity between our last commissioners meeting and this commissioners meeting to stop up at the Muhlenberg Ambulance Association. And I haven't been up there in probably over a decade or maybe even more, but it's great to see, I guess, a service that we hope we don't need to use, but it's available if we need it. I was just impressed with the certifications that people have, the technology that's available on the ambulances, and it's our tax dollars that are going to some degree to support that operation, and they do a fantastic job up there. So thank you, Jody, for spending a little bit of time to get there.
Thank you. Commissioner,
Good, thanks.
Commissioner Cerullo.
See you guys at Riverfest.
Yeah.
Come to the information tent if you wanna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner Laird.
I want to thank the public for coming out and thank you for sharing your thoughts and comments on survey issues that are headline grabbing today and very important items, issues that we do discuss. I know, hard discussions aren't always published, but we try to stay on top of, these things as best we can. I was at National Night Out. I think the good things that our local police force does on a daily basis certainly goes unnoticed. Certainly our SROs are making a huge impact on students at the school. Specifically when I read information about students coming and talking to our SROs regarding personal problems that they're having because they have nobody else to go and talk to. So it's a balancing act all the time, but National Night Out was a great success. It was good to see a lot of people there. Hopefully we'll see you all at Riverfest. And for those who came out tonight, come out to all our meetings. So it's important that you're here. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you all for coming. Just to reiterate, it is a special Riverfest year for those, person. There's so much work that goes into this from staff, volunteers in the community. I mean, we have upwards 20,000-30,000 people come through, so it's a pretty exciting event. It is Muhlenberg's 175th anniversary this year as part of the celebration on that Friday, along with the 10th year, if you can believe it, of Riverfest. But there's a lot of work, a lot of volunteers, so I ask the public to be patient. Still free parking, so come down. The one question I did ask, and I forgot to ask, I know it came up last year, is it pets or no pets?
We did not ever restrict that.
Okay.
Correct, yes.
Just so I can ask that, I think I remember we talked about that.
We ask people just to be aware that, if your pet doesn't do well in crowds, then don't bring your pet.
Gotcha. Leaving common sense. Yeah, there you go. But thank you all for coming, and hopefully we'll see you this weekend. Pray for no rain.